You are able to see it, right?
Yes.
Okay. So basically, the chapter that we are going to cover today is called the functions in C, and so we'll go through the textbook first, and then later on, like if in the later classes, we'll try to cover up the exercise questions as well. But as a beginning step, right? We need to go through the chapter, and once
Yes.
we are thorough through all the chapters, lessons, and all, then we can cover other questions or take up any other questions that you have doubts and all. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So here it says, like in this chapter we will learn an interesting and useful feature of a programming languages called function facilitator, a better way of coding. It increases the readability of the program as well. In addition, we will learn some new syntax of programming language here. Okay, so basically this chapter will cover everything about the functions in C programming language. Okay.
Okay.
Now, introduction, we have seen that when we need to do many tasks in a program, the length of the program increases. Sometimes it becomes difficult to read and understand that. There is an interesting construct in computer programming that handles this issue nicely, called functions. Okay, so what basically a function is, it's say for example you wanted to do a particular task. Okay, that
Yes.
task can be like finding the sum of two numbers. Okay,
Yes, sir.
the task can be finding the sum of two numbers or multiplying of two numbers. Okay, so those are like different kind of, these are called task. Okay, so what that task is to either find the sum of two number or either to multiply those two numbers. Okay, so
Okay,
now
sir.
if you are trying to implement this functionality in your C programming, then you need to write multiple times, correct?
Yes, sir.
So what basically a function does is, function in the function you will define that function in a particular like format or in a syntax that we will cover up in our lesson, and then you call that function. So basically function is nothing but a set of tasks grouped together that perform a particular task. Okay,
Mm.
so that is the overall definition. Now if you see a function in computer program is a group of statement that together perform a task. So it is a group of statement which will perform a particular task. That task can be either multiplication, division, or any other thing that you wanted to perform. Okay,
Yes.
we can divide our code of program into separate functions. How we divide the code among different group is up to us, but logically the division is such that each function performs a specific task. So the basic thing that you need to remember is a function is nothing but a set of statements that performs a particular task. So it is made for a particular purpose only. That purpose can be either summation, it can be deletion, it can be anything, or printing like set of statements together. Okay, so that is specific to that program, like what is the program trying to do. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so there are some common terminologies with respect to functions in C. Let us first understand this. A function will have a function name. Okay, so every function will have a function name, and that name can be anything. Okay, name can be like it can be perform the sum of number, or add two numbers. Okay, find factorial. So it can be anything, that can be a name. Only thing is it should not be any keyword. Okay, what keyword means is, like say you have a printf, you know about printf, right, which prints the statement in the computer program.
Yes, sir.
So you cannot use printf in the function name. Why you cannot use printf in the function name? Because that is a reserved keyword. Okay,
Yes.
that is a keyword that is already been taken by the C program. Okay, so that is the reason you don't need to use the keyword, you can use any other names. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Then the return type. So every function will return something. So you can think a function like, say for example, you are doing a phone call to someone. Okay.
Okay.
So that phone call can be of a particular purpose, right? You wanted to know when is your friend's birthday. Okay. The moment you
Okay.
do that call, your friend will tell like your friend will tell like a particular date, right? This is my birth date. Say for example 15th of September. Okay. So
Okay.
that is called the return type. That you are getting something in return, right?
Yes, sir.
You are calling your friend and you are getting something. Okay. Similarly, in function, every function will have a return type. That return type can be anything, like it can be integer, it can be float, it can be character, anything. Okay. Every function in C usually returns a value. The data type of the returning value becomes the return type of the function. Whatever the data type that function is returning, that data type would be the data type of the function. Okay. For example, if you return an integer from a function, the return type of the function become integer. So if, say for example, you are doing the sum of two numbers. Okay.
Yes, sir.
You did the sum of two numbers and then you return an integer, correct? So that whatever the integer that you are returning, right? Say 2 plus 3 you are doing and then you are returning as 5. What is the
Yeah.
type of that 5? The type of 5 is integer.
Yes.
So that function will return a value of the integer type. So that is called the return type of the function. Okay.
Okay.
And it is not necessary for a function to return something. It cannot return anything. Okay. So for example, you are doing a phone call to your friend, but your friend didn't pick up the call. Okay.
Okay.
So in that case, you are not getting anything, correct? Those kind of return types are called the void. Void means a function is not returning anything to you. Okay.
Okay,
In
sir.
case a function does not return anything, its return type is called the void. A function can return only one item. And what is tell is in the final, like if it is returning something, then it can return only one item. It can return either integer, character, float, or anything, decimal value, whatever it returns. But if that function is returning anything, that return type can only have one item. It cannot return like 2 to 3 variable at a single time, or a 2 to 3 value at in a particular call. Okay. So that is called the return type of the function. And then we have the function parameters. Now what is this function parameters? We pass or send some data to a function when it is executed. Parameters in a function refers to these data. Parameters are like placeholders. They take some data along with them. So what do you mean by parameters? Parameters is nothing but these values. So this is a function, okay? Float, calculate interest, int principal amount, int year, float rate of interest. So whatever this principal amount, year and interest are there, right? These are called the parameters.
Sir, I didn't understand the function parameter.
Parameter you didn't understood, right? Now I will
Yes,
give
sir.
you one example. Say for example, we will take the same example. You are calling your friend, okay?
Yes.
You call your friend. Then
Okay.
what is the outcome that you wanted to get from her? You wanted to get her the birthday, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Then what is the question you would be asking her?
Sir, what's your birthday?
What's your birthday, right? That
Yes.
what's your birthday is the parameter. Okay. You are giving an input to your friend telling that what is your birthday. Okay.
Yes.
So that whatever the input that you are giving to that function, okay,
Okay.
those inputs are called the function parameters. So here this is a function, okay. Now here what is the input we are giving? We are giving the principal amount, we are giving the year, we are giving the rate of interest. So these inputs, whatever the inputs that we are giving to the function, these are called the function parameters. Okay,
Okay, sir.
understood, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we can pass or send some data to a function when it is executed. Parameters in a function refers to this data. Okay, what is the data that we are passing or we are giving as an input? Those data are called the parameters of a function. Parameters are like the placeholder, they take some data along with them as an input. So this function will require some input to be executed. So if you know the principal amount, if you know the year, if you know the rate of interest, then you can calculate the interest, right?
Yes, sir.
So in order to calculate the interest, you need to know the principal amount, what is the year, what is the rate of interest. Then you will do principal into rate into time. Okay, so whatever
sir.
the input that you are passing, these are called the parameters. The above code segment indicates a function whose name is calculate interest. The return type of the function is float and the function has three parameters: principal amount, year, and then the rate of interest. Okay, now if you see whatever we have learned so far, a function should have a function name. Okay, what is the function name in here?
Float.
No, float is not the function name. Function name is calculate interest.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, because
Okay,
this is the name of the function that we are giving to it. Okay,
Okay, sir.
return type. Now we are telling, right, we are expecting something from the function. What we are expecting? We are expecting a float value.
Yes, sir.
This float is called the return type of the function. Okay,
Okay, sir.
and function parameters, whatever the input that we are providing to the function is called the functions parameter. Okay.
Okay.
So this, I think this point is clear, right? How do you define a function? A function will have a function name, a function will have a return type. Return type means this function will execute, there would be some line of code, and that will give a float, that will give a result as a float value, and then you have the function parameters. Okay, these parameters of a function are also termed as argument. These are also called as the argument. You can call it as a parameter, you can call it as an argument. Okay, a function may not accept any parameter, we call such function as zero argument function. Now what happens? Now we are calculating the interest. Okay,
Sir.
there can be cases where we need not to pass these parameters. Okay, so when we are not passing these parameters, we call those functions as zero argument function. Okay,
Sir.
these parameters are called the argument, and when you are not passing any parameters to a function, these are called the zero argument functions. Okay,
Sir.
these are like few of the terminologies that are used for the function. Okay, now we'll move to the components of a function. What are the different components of a function? Now there are three parts of a function in C. One is called the function declaration. A function must be declared before it is used. This is to tell the compiler about the function name, function parameters, and then the return type. We give an example of a function declaration below. Okay, now there are three parts of a function. The first part is called the function declaration. Function declaration means you are telling the compiler that I would be writing this kind of function. Okay, this function exists in our code base. Okay,
Sir.
now this is called that we are declaring the function. Okay, now this is how you declare a function. So why do we declare a function? We declare a function before we because this is to tell the compiler that we would be using this function, this kind of function in our code. Okay,
Sir.
now the next is function call. This statement is responsible for the execution of a function. A function starts its execution when we make a call to it. A function can be called from anywhere in the program. The parameter list in function calling and function declaration must match. We must pass the same number of parameters as it declared in the function declaration. The following code statement makes a call to the function calculate interest and passes 3 parameters. The result of the function is stored in a variable called interest. So initially you told the compiler that this is the kind of function that I am going to write. Okay. You can now what you need to do, you need to call this function. Call these functions means you are dialing the number to your friend for asking your birthday. Okay. So you have a number of your friend with you, correct?
Yes.
So that number needs to be called. Okay. This is how you will be calling this function. That means you are calling this function calculate interest with the 3 value. One is principal amount, another is year, and then the rate of interest. That means you would be passing the value here. Say principal amount you passed 100, rate year you passed 2, and then the rate of interest you passed 5. Okay. Then the control will move to this part. Okay. Then it will check whether this function, the compiler will check whether this function declaration exists in the program or not. If it exists, then it will not give you the error. If it doesn't exist, then it will give you the error. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Once this function will get executed, it will return something which is of the type float, and then you capture that result in this interest variable. Okay.
Okay.
So this is how the function calling happens. Now then the function definition. This portion of the function contains the actual statements that are executed and the function is called. The last statement in a function definition is the return statement that we wish to return to the caller of the function. Now you declare this function, you called this function, but you don't know, right, what this function does. Okay. You need to write few statement or few line of code so that the compiler knows what needs to be done to these inputs. You are passing the input, that is fine. You are calling the function, that is fine. But what the compiler will do with this 3 value? So that part will come in the function definition. So function definition basically will have those statements where the actual execution of the program happens. Okay. So these are the 3 parts. One is function declaration, where you declare the function before using it. Then you have the function call, that you would be calling that function from your code. Then you have the function definition, where you write the actual execution of your code. Okay. The following code segment is the definition of a function called calculate interest. The function calculates simple interest using the values of the parameters and returns its value. Now if you see here, this is called the function definition. Now why it is called the function definition is because this definition is taking these inputs, this is taking the input, then it is performing some execution on these inputs, storing it in a variable interest, and then returning the value. Okay, so this is where like the function execution happens, and this is called the function definition. Okay.
Okay.
Now if you see here, this is like a beautiful explanation of how this function works. So initially you start with hash include stdio.h. You declare the function. Here you tell the compiler that this function exists, and what this function does, what this sum function does. Sum function can take 2 parameters with whose type are integer, and then it will return a value of the type integer. Okay. Then you have an int main function where the actual execution of the program happens, you know, right? So main is the function where main is also a function. If you see here, this is a function and its return type is integer.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So but the question that you may ask is, we haven't declared the main. Like how we are declaring this sum function here, right? We are calling the sum function. We are writing the function definition for the sum, but why we are not writing the definition or the function calling for main? The reason being,
Yes, sir. Yeah, that was the doubt.
okay, so the reason being, you have this hash include stdio.h. Okay, this is a library function. This is a standard library function provided by the C program. This library function has a lots of programs in it, like thousands and hundreds and thousands of code. Okay, and this main functions, everything is defined inside this stdio.h. When you are defining this hash include stdio.h, automatically all the functions that are mentioned in this program comes in this code. So that is the reason we don't care about like how this main works. Okay, so that is the part of C programming or the library function which is doing all the operations in the background. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So coming back to our part, this is like the function declaration. Then we have a function calling. Like if you see here, this is where we call this function. Now this function, like how you are calling, if you see the syntax, sum a comma b, like in the function declaration you are writing int, right? While calling the function you don't need to write int or anything. So you already declare a variable of a and b with the integer data type, and then you are passing this value over here. So 4 and 5 you are passing here. Okay, as soon as you are calling this function, this is the function call, so this program will start searching where this definition is written. Okay, first it will validate whether this function exists in this program or not. So it will check here, it will go here, okay, this function exists in our program. Then it will check what are the data types of the parameters that we are passing. So here in the declaration we are writing we need to pass the integer data type. So it will check whether the value of a and b are integer type or not. Then the compiler tell, okay, these two values are the type of integer. Okay. Then then after this validation happens, the control will move to the function definition here. Okay.
Okay.
This you can think like you are calling your friend. This you are dialing your friend. Now once you dial your friend, whatever the things that are going in your world, everything becomes shut down, and then the call will go to your friend. Okay, here. Then then integer a and b, we do the sum, and then the result is stored in a variable called result, and then we are returning the result value. Then the control moves here. Then this sum a comma b will be replaced with how much? 9, because 4 plus 5 is 9. Okay, then the result would be stored here. Then the printf statement, result is %d, means you would be printing the integer value.
Sir, I have a doubt.
Yeah, tell me.
Sir, so in the beginning we declare the function int sum int a and b. So why we need to declare it second time?
Why we need to declare second time, right?
Yes, sir.
Good question. So there is a thin line of difference between these two parts. One you are declaring, another you are defining. Declaring is to tell the compiler that this kind of function exists in your program. Okay. It has nothing to do with what your program is doing. You can write the sum and then you can do the subtraction. it has nothing to do with the how your program is executing. Declaration is just to tell the compiler that this kind of function exists in your program. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Definition is where your actual execution happens, like where the sum of these two variable is happening. This is function definition. So declaration is for validation and definition is for your execution. So that is the reason you are writing this function two times. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So this is the part. Function declaration and definition can also be written together. We will see some examples in this chapter. So basically what happens is there are multiple ways to write a program. Okay, this is one way. Now the reason we are writing this declaration is to check for the validation. Okay, because our execution will start from the main part. Okay, now when the program will come here in the main part, it will see whether the sum, the definition of sum exists or not. If it doesn't exist, then we need to declare. Okay, but if you are writing this part of code here, then you don't need to declare the function. So you can remove this part. Okay.
Okay.
So if you are writing this part of code here, the compiler will automatically treat it as declaration plus definition, both. Okay.
Okay.
But if you are writing this definition below the main function, then you need to do both the declaration as well as definition. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Now the type of functions. There are two types of function in C programming. One is called the library function, another is called the user defined functions. Okay. Now what is the difference between this library function and user defined function? Okay. Library function, these are the functions that are defined in the C header files. Okay. We use these functions while writing our program. We have already used printf, scanf in our program. These are more such as get, put, seal, floor, etc. Okay. Now library function, I told you, right, main is also a function which is present inside this this part of code, stdio.h. Okay.
Yes.
So since the main is present inside this stdio.h library function, these kind of functions are called the library functions. Okay, library functions are those functions that are given by standard by the C program, or the programs that are included inside this library files. So whenever you write stdio.h, you get a whole lot of program, like you get a main function, you get a printf function, you get a scanf function. So all these are functions. So if you see here, this is the function calling. If you see this print statement carefully, right, how you are calling this function, like it has the function name, correct? So you write the function name as printf. Then you have these two parameters. This is one parameter, this is another parameters. Okay. So similarly here also you have two parameters. So printf is also a function, but these functions are the library functions. Okay.
Okay, sir.
This function will come from the library files.
Okay.
Now what are user defined functions? These are the functions that are created by the programmer. The function we discussed till now, calculate, interest, sum, are user defined functions. These are called user defined because the programmer provides right definition of this function, but the definition of library functions are already written in the system. Now if you see these kind of functions, sum function or calculate the interest function, these functions are written by the programmer. So if you are writing this piece of code, then sum doesn't come inside this stdio.h library function. Okay. So these kind of functions which are written by the programmer to perform a particular task, These kind of functions are called the user defined function because these are defined by the users. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So that is the difference between the library function and the user defined function. Library functions definitions are already written inside the header files. Okay, and then the user defined functions are written by the programmers for performing that particular task or that particular activity. Okay.
Okay.
Now solving problems using functions. In this section we'll write a number of C programming using functions. The problems considered here are not new. We have already solved similar programs in our previous chapters. Okay. Now finding the summation of two numbers. How do you find the sum of two numbers? Okay. So basically you start with has include str.h. You declare the function. Now you know the declaration, right? Because
Yes,
this
sir.
declaration is for the validation for the compiler. And since we have defined that function below the main part, that is the reason we need to do declaration and definition two times. If this part of code was written here, then we don't need to declare that function. Okay. Now our program starts executing. We initialize three variables a, b, and then the result. We do the printf statement. Printf is used for.
Sir. Hello, sir.
Yeah. Tell me.
Take a second.
So let me know once you are present in the system. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
So we can continue, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this problem is finding the summation of two numbers. Okay. We start with the has include std.h. We declare the function sum, which takes the value of type integer. This is function declaration. The function start with int main. Then we have int a, b, and then the result. Then we do the printf statement. This will print in your the compiler or your whatever the IDE that you would be using. Then we ask the user for the input. Scanf will ask the user for the input. So it will first print the statement. Then you need to enter like value 10 here. So this is for user input. Then you have entered the second number. Then you do the scanf asking for another input. Here suppose the user entered 20. Now we have the function calling. Now once you do the function calling, you input the value of a and b, say 10 and 20. The control of the function goes from here. First it will check whether this function exists or not. It will check the sum function, here it is declared or not. So sum function is declared. Then it will check for the value of a and b. A and b we have defined it as an integer variable, correct? A and B.
Yes, sir.
So here, okay, this is of the type integer only, then the part of this one finishes. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Now the control move to the function definition here. Here we are defining the function. We took the input a and b here. Okay. Now 4 and like the 10 and the 20 will come over here. Then you declare a result variable. Then you do the sum 10 plus 20 and store it in the result variable. Then you return the whatever the result it is coming. Okay. Then the control moves over here, and then this sum a comma b would then be replaced with 10 plus 20, which is 30. So the
Hello, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Sir, my friend is asking to join. May I send the link?
Yes, of course. But we are going to wrap up the session. But you can just send the link to her.
Okay, sir.
Mm-hmm. Not an issue. So the sum will get then stored in this result variable. Then the result is printed. Result is %d means result. Okay. Then we do the return 0, and then the program finishes. Okay. So any doubts or confusions here so far? I think this is very straightforward and simple program. We have also seen this in our earlier explanation above.
Yes, sir.
So is this program is clear to you, right? It is clear. Okay, we can move forward then. So this is the same thing that it is explaining. You can read it always. Okay, and then the another thing is I expect you to prepare your own notes. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And the notes can be like, if you follow whatever it is written in the textbook, that would be very good and well. And
yes, sir.
You may refer to other sources as well, like you might have some guides or something, right, or somewhere. But the purpose of this call is to make your concept clear. Okay, so that you don't struggle with the concept. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
So I think this is the same thing. Okay. The difference here is a C program using a function with extra printf. So you are adding some extra printf statement over here. So it is the same program, only we have added some printf, like the first number, second number was already present. You just added a printf statement here, that the program control just before making the function call, then just after returning from the function call. This has nothing to do with the actual execution of this program. Okay. So this is just for adding the extra printf statement. So currently where that or how that function is present. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Now we move to the another part. So it will print some few statements, 1 or 2 extra statement. Now the quick activity, here it is mentioned, modify the above program to do the multiplication of 2 integers instead of addition. Okay. Now where you will make the changes, can you just tell me? Like if you are asked the same question in your exam, instead of doing the sum of 2 number, you need to find the multiplication of 2 number. Which part of the program you will modify, or where you will modify the program?
Yes, sir. What was the question?
So far we have seen, right, this program is for finding the sum of 2 numbers, correct?
Yes.
Now if you are asked in your exam, instead of finding the sum of 2 numbers, you need to do the multiplication of 2 integer. Question is little twisted. So earlier it was finding the addition of 2 numbers, that means you need to add 2 numbers. But now in this case it is for multiplication of 2 integers.
Yes.
So how you will modify this program? What you will do? Any guess or any like this one? Uh,
So can I change, modify the declaration statement?
okay, that is fine. You will declare the this statement. What you will declare then?
So I don't have an idea.
Okay, that's not a problem. So I will just tell you. So here it is asking for finding the sum of two numbers, right? Now the program is asking to find the multiplication of two number. Okay. So initially you start with the first number, second number, because think this way, when you are adding two number, you ask the user to input two numbers a and b, because you need to do the plus for both these two numbers. Okay, now you are asked to do the multiplication. In doing the multiplication also you require the two numbers, correct?
Yes.
So this program will remain the same. Okay, then if I go here instead of that, I think this one is fine. Okay, now you ask the user to find enter two number. Now here it is written sum. Okay,
Yes.
you will write it as multiply. Okay,
Oh.
when you write this as multiply, you need to change the function, because you are changing the function name, correct?
Yes.
So you need to change the declaration as well as the definition, whatever the name is there.
Okay, sir.
So sum you will change to multiply, here also you will change to multiply, here also you will change to multiply. Okay,
Okay, sir.
now the function is perfectly fine, because now the function name is multiply, then you are giving the input a and b, both this integer here. Okay, so two integer will come here, then it will check multiply function exists or not. So multiply, because this name, any name you can give, you can run the program with the name as sum, that is not a problem. Okay, but
Okay.
we need to write the code in such a way that if someone sees your code, you should be that function name should be able to tell you what that function is doing, correct? So that is the reason you will change this sum to multiply. Okay, now what will happen, the control goes to the function definition here. Okay, now we have result, that is fine. Now here we are doing the sum, correct? Now we need to do the multiply. So instead of plus, what you will do, you will write a star or the multiply symbol. Okay.
So the multiply symbol works here. Does the multiply symbol works here?
Does the multiply system? Yeah, why not? Because see, this is like how the user is defining the function, correct? It is not the library function, it is not the function provided by the C program or the library file. Okay.
Okay.
So you would replace this statement with A into B.
Okay.
A into B. Okay. Because this function definition, it is totally up to you what you will do with this function definition, correct?
Yes, sir.
So you need to write A into B, that is the thing. Then this function will return result, which would be multiplication of two numbers, and the control will go over here, and then it will print result is percentage d result. That means it will print the multiplication of two number. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So this is like how, if you are given little twist, you need to think that way. So it was for addition, now I need to do multiplication. So you need to think in addition, how you used to do the addition. You used to do addition by taking the two input from the user. Okay. So in the multiplication also you will get the two input. So what is the difference between addition and multiplication? The difference is, in the addition you will add the plus symbol, in the multiplication you will add the multiply symbol. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So that, and then you need to change the function name just so that it would be easy for user to understand what you have written. Otherwise, even if you do write int sum and then do multiplication over here, that would perfectly work. Okay. C
Okay, sir.
program doesn't validate what you have written as a function name. You can write this sum as Sneha and then do the multiplication. That will also work.
Oh,
Okay.
thank you, sir.
Yeah. So that is the basic difference. Okay. Now this is the same thing. This name is like, say, this is just for adding some few printf statement. It has nothing to do with the code, so it will add some extra line of printf statement over here. Okay.
Okay.
Now finding the largest among the three numbers. So if you see here, this is for printing the largest number. Okay. So I will just I will not explain this one because I think our time already, we are already in the finishing line for our time. We just have 5 minutes left, but
Yep.
I will just explain you this way. Okay. So think this way. Okay. Okay. So for example, you have an integer a, okay, is equal
Yes,
to
sir.
10, b equal to 20, and then you have c is equal to 30. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Now the problem is to find the largest of three numbers. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So how this is the problem statement. Find the largest of the three numbers for whatever the number that has been written over here. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So what would be the largest? What does the program should print? Largest is what the program should print?
So, C.
C means 30. Correct.
Yes.
But how do you come to know this is the largest? How do you come to know this is the final output that we want? Okay, this is the problem, this is the output. Okay, how did you came to know that it is 30 and how it is not 20 or 10?
So, by comparing all the integers.
Okay, so you are comparing all the integers, right?
Yes, sir.
Since you have seen lots of maths problem, lots of other experience, right?
Yes, sir.
So your mind automatically calculates that 30 is the largest. Or if you have,
Yep.
if you are given like 10 numbers, your mind will automatically tell you this is the largest. Okay.
Okay, sir.
But the thing is, computer doesn't know anything. Okay. Or the C program doesn't know anything. You need to tell the compiler or the program C program that you need to do this kind of comparison. Okay. After
Yes,
doing
sir.
the comparisons between all these numbers, you will be able to find a output which is 30. So you can think computer is a dumb machine. Okay. But it is also intelligent machine. The only thing, the only difference here is you need to make it intelligent, or you need to tell the compiler or the program that you need to perform this kind of logic. Once you perform this kind of logic, only then you will be able to come to a final output to find the largest number. Okay. Now,
Okay, sir.
in this case, how do you do the comparison? We first define a variable, say for example largest. Largest, we tell like 10 is the largest or A is the largest. Okay. I am just writing a like the pseudo code or the explanation. So initially you told 10 is the largest, okay, or
Yes.
a is the largest. Then you, what you do, first you will compare a and b, okay. A
Yes.
greater than b, okay. Then what it will come, a greater than b, 10 greater than 20, okay.
Okay.
Whether 10 is greater than 20 or not.
So not.
It is not. So this statement becomes false, okay.
Okay.
So currently the largest is, initially we told like the largest is 10, okay.
Okay, sir.
Now you did the comparison whether a is greater than b or not, okay. This statement becomes false, okay.
Yes.
Now what you will do, if this is not the largest, if a is not larger than b, what you will do, you will update the largest to the number which is largest. Now in this case, which is largest?
20.
20 is
B.
largest, b is largest. So now
Yes.
the largest would be updated with b, okay. So initially it was 10, then now the 10 got updated with 20, okay.
Yes.
Now whoever wins the race, we will do the comparison between the other variables, okay. Now in this
Yes.
first statement, who win the race?
Sir, 20. मतलब B.
B win the race, right? Then you will do comparison between B and C, okay.
Yes.
Now our formula remains the same. Whoever wins the race, largest would be that number, okay.
Yes.
Now what the comparison you will do? 20 greater than 30, correct?
Yes, sir.
Is 20 greater than 30?
No, sir.
No. So
It's false.
it is false. Now
Yes.
who wins the race?
30. C.
30. So 30 wins the race, correct? Now we don't have any other variable here, right?
Yes.
So now since 30 wins the race, or the C wins the race, what is the value C is holding?
30.
So now the largest is updated with 30,
Yes.
okay. Then you
Yes.
do the printf statement, that telling that the largest is
Smithy.
this way. Now whatever the value largest is holding, that value will be printed in your program. So what it is holding? Largest is holding the value of 30, correct? So this
Yes.
would be printed in your computer program.
Yes,
So
sir.
this was the problem. You need to find the largest of three numbers. The output came as largest is 30. This was the expected output, and we printed the output this way. And this is the logic that we have implemented. The logic is comparison. Every time we are moving from one variable to another variable, we are comparing one variable to the another, and whoever is winning the race, we are assigning that value to the largest, okay. This entire part you can like print in the program, you can like put it inside the function definition, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now let us take another example, then we will wrap up the session, okay.
Okay.
Now we have this logic built, right? Every time we are moving from one value to another, we are comparing between these numbers. Okay, now
Yes.
let us take 10 is 45. Oh sorry, A is 45, B is 20, C is 12. Okay,
Yes, sir.
now our problem remains the same. This is the problem. Okay, now
Yes.
if I tell you, tell me from these three variable which is the largest, what you will tell?
Sir, A, 45.
45 is the largest. You told it because you have that experience, you have solved lots of math problem earlier, right? But
Yes.
computer didn't solve any problem. Okay,
Yes.
now our strategy remains the same. Okay, we will do the same thing. Okay, now we
Yes.
initially what we did, we initialized a variable called the largest and assigned it with A. Okay,
A.
now
Yes.
what does the
Yes, sir.
largest will hold? Largest will hold 45. Okay,
Yes.
then we will do the comparison, A greater than B. Okay,
Yes.
A is greater than B. Now what is A? 45. 45 greater than 20. Okay, is 45 greater than 20?
No, sir. Yes, it is.
It is greater than 20. So
Yes.
who wins the race?
Sir, A, 45.
So largest doesn't change. Largest is
Yes.
same only,
40.
because whoever is winning the race, it would be assigned to the largest. You can tell like largest variable is the king here. Okay, whoever is winning
Yes.
the race, he will get the largest position. Okay,
Yes, sir.
now we will do the comparison between A and C, because A win the race, right?
Yes, sir.
Now A will do the competition. Correct.
Yes, sir.
Now A and C. What is the value of A?
The value of A is 45.
And what is the value of C?
It is 12.
12. Is 45 greater than 12?
Yes.
True. So since it is true, so largest will be assigned to A only, because here also A wins the race. Here also A wins the race. So whoever wins the race, it would be assigned to the largest. Okay.
Okay.
So next we will have the print statement here. Okay, now what is the largest value here?
45. A.
45. Okay, so 45 would be printed in your program. So initially from your experience you told largest is 45. Our program is also printing the largest value as 45. So this
Yes.
program will work. Okay.
Yes.
Now if you see the logic flow or the execution of both this program, we have this logic and this logic. Okay,
Yes.
so both these logics are kind of same. We didn't change any logic over here, we just changed the value of integer. Correct.
Yes.
So whatever the logic we have defined over here, right,
Yes, sir.
as a comparison, like assigning the largest value to the first variable, then doing the comparison, and then returning the largest variable. So this entire logic we need to write inside the function definition, because function definition is the place where the actual execution of that program occurs. Correct.
Yes.
So that is the thing. So I think we are almost to the end of the lesson, and I would be uploading the lesson or the sessions that you have done today in the YouTube channel as well. And my
Yes.
request to you is to go through this flow. I think now you will be able to get it, like how this flow is getting explained. And the
Yes.
another thing is you need to read the textbook. If you are
Yes.
clear with the textbook, then you would be able to solve any problems that you might encounter in your exam. Okay,
Okay.
so just go through this workflow, just go through this code, and then just go through this program. I think now you would be able to pick it up. Okay,
Yes.
having said that, we are wrapping up this session, and thank you so much, Sneha, for your time, and then we'll meet up in the next lesson. Okay.
Thank you so much.